It was in March 2014, here at Expo, that the first Kate Granger Awards for Compassionate Care took place. These annual awards recognise an individual, team or organisation that has made a positive difference to patient care. As many of you will know here, Kate was an inspirational doctor who spent 5 years campaigning to transform public attitudes to death and clinicians' approaches to patients while herself battling terminal cancer. She died this July. Kate, who was 34, started a global campaign to encourage everyone giving care to get to know their patients as people, starting by introducing themselves, which started with the "Hello, my name is" social media campaign. A few weeks before Kate died, she spoke about her mixed emotion, having survived as long as she had, outliving many of her friends she had made since being diagnosed. Who deserves to stay alive, she asked. It's hard to be the last one standing. But she went on, if I dropped dead tomorrow, I wouldn't be unhappy with the life I've managed to achieve in the past 5 years. I've managed to create some amazing legacies. All doctors want to leave their mark, and I think I've managed to do that. I think through it all, I have found a strength I never knew I had. Kate's amazing strength and bravery lives on with these awards again this year. We'll hear from several people on the panel before actually handing out the awards this afternoon. But let's start with Steve Lever, CEO, Chief Executive Officer of HIMSS.
Thank you, Tim. Hello, my name is Steve, and thank you so much for being here with us today. For the past 2 years, Kate Granger stood here on this stage at Expo and recognized people who had shown extraordinary compassion in the way they worked with their patients. Today, in Kate's memory, we continue to celebrate the people working in health and care, often with some of the most vulnerable and most ill patients who have gone out of their way to provide compassionate care. HIMSS is so very proud to be supporting the Kate Granger Awards. Improving patient care is at the heart of everything that we do. Reading through the nominations, I've been struck at how seemingly small an action can have such a big effect and change people's lives. From taking patients for a weekly walk, calming nervous children before an MRI, and working with homeless people who've been discharged from hospital, these simple acts are making a lasting difference and improving patients' lives. I never had the privilege of meeting Dr. Kate Granger. I wish I had. She was a fighter, that much I can tell, and she had the determination to turn her experience as a doctor who became a patient into a positive outcome. The story of how Kate's Hello, My Name Is campaign came about and the enormous impact it has had go far beyond this country, and it will live on, and HIMSS will be a part of making sure that legacy continues. I can see everyone here today understands the legacy that she has created. What the Kate Granger Awards for Compassion Care teach us is to look for the patient in all that we do, to make sure we are not missing out on the one thing that makes a patient feel better, such as introducing ourselves and treating the scared and worried person in front of you the same way you would a friend. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Kate showed great strength, fortitude in the last few months of her life, but helped very much by her husband, who is here this afternoon, Chris Poynton, who will also be handing out some of the awards. But before we do that, a few words from Chris.
Hello, my name is Chris Poynton. Obviously I couldn't start any speech without saying those four now iconic words. Those 4 words made me feel proud. Proud of the NHS, but proud of what Kate achieved in her life. Many people refer to Kate as Dr. Kate Granger, MBE, but many of us who know her will just call her Kate, and that's how she wanted to be known. Before I carry on, just to make you aware, there is actually a Hello My Memory Is stall, 140 over in the right hand corner, which I would welcome everyone who's met Kate, or even if you haven't met Kate, to go and share your memories of the amazing lady. I would say that I'm glad to be standing up here, which I obviously am, talking to you today, but I'm afraid I'm not. I'd much rather be sat down there where you guys are, looking up at Kate, giving these awards out. As you all know, she died about 7 weeks ago now, peacefully surrounded by loved ones. But before she died, she had the honour of looking through the nominations and choosing the winners of these awards. Now, I'm sure the talk Kate would have given would have been much more inspiring than what mine's going to be, but she'll be extremely proud of everyone who was nominated this year. And when we read through the nominations together in her room at the St Gemma's Hospice in Leeds, we were deeply moved and also inspired, as it does show the absolutely amazing work that goes on and the people that we have got in our NHS. So these awards are all about compassion in the NHS. Something that doesn't always get highlighted in the media, so this is a great opportunity to show how fabulous the NHS is and the work that people do. I firmly believe, as a non-medic, there's too much NHS bashing goes on and not enough celebration in the media. I understand the pressures everyone is under and the constant media battering that we get, but the world is jealous of our amazing NHS and the compassion that's shown by the people that work in it. So what does compassion actually mean? The definition of it is a feeling of deep sympathy and sorrow for another who is stricken by misfortune and accompanied by a strong desire to alleviate the suffering. What does compassion and compassionate care mean to me? It means Kate. She is, and she was, the epitome of compassion, not just in work, but in life as well. Compassion doesn't have to cost any money. It doesn't always have to take a lot of time. For example, within the NHS, when funding is tight, it goes on every second of every day, 24/7, 7 days a week. But it's something that Kate was fully aware of as both a patient and a doctor. Like I said, Kate's always been compassionate in both work and private life from a very early age. She would assist at a daycare centre looking after the elderly. In work, she would always go above and beyond, often staying late and often doing things that she didn't need to have to do. But also, she looked after her patients so well, and she looked after her family, friends. Like I said before, she epitomises compassion. In later life, Kate talked at length about her key values, which I'm sure some of you will have read about before, but I'm going to reiterate them now. The 4 things that Kate was truly working on. Communication, paramount importance. Without communication, there's no real involvement there with the patient-doctor relationship. The second thing is that the little things really do matter. So an example of that is not standing over somebody in a hospital bed, rather sitting down next to them. There was no decision made about Kate without Kate being involved, not just with the patient, but also in married life, I assure you. And see me as a person. You know, Kate wasn't bed 7. She wasn't that girl over there with the SRCT. Kate was Kate, and that's how she wanted to be addressed, both as a doctor and a patient. So throughout Kate and I's journey in the NHS over the last 5 years, we've experienced various levels of care, hence why Hello My Name Is first came about. But Kate and I are firm believers in doing something to improve things for others, and not just to accept it, or expect other people to do it, because we are all responsible for making a change to our NHS. So from a one-off bad experience has become a cultural shift in not just the NHS, but also globally. Hello My Name is now across the globe. But first and foremost, me and Kate want that to be in the NHS because we are so proud of our NHS. It shows how one tiny idea that requires little money, little time, and it can hugely improve patient-centred care. The uptake has been immense, and Kate often commented on how delighted she was with the endorsements across all levels of the NHS. It was healthcare that really drove her further and kept her going for as long as it did. There was also those few celebrities endorsing the campaign to raise its profile. So Kate's journey, once she was first diagnosed, Kate's journey from the start involved a lot of intervention at various times of the day or week. Kate wasn't always ill between the hours of 9 and 5 Monday to Friday, but whatever time of the day it was, whatever day of the week it was, she was looked after really well by the NHS. Doesn't matter if it was Saturday at midnight or if it's a Monday at 3 p.m. Our NHS was there to help Kate get through this. She never wanted for preferential treatment, and I don't believe she did. It's just what our NHS gives to our patients. Kate often said, I firmly believe it's not just about knowing someone's name, but it runs much deeper. It's about a human connection, beginning a therapeutic relationship and building that trust. In my mind, it's the first rung on the ladder to providing compassionate care. So you guys will all know of Kate. Some of you will have been lucky enough to have met her. I'm most extremely honoured to know her better than anybody else. Outside of work, she was what you would have probably expected. She was an amazing individual, a sister, a daughter-in-law, family member, friend, colleague, and the most amazing wife in the world. So, 23rd of July, it's a day that's engraved on the inside of my wedding ring. That was the day that Kate and I got married, 11 years ago. It's also the day that, and I firmly believe Kate worked for this day, it's also the date that Kate died, 11 years after we got married. So, the happiest and probably the saddest day of my life. It's a poignant day, it's a very memorable day, and it will never be forgotten. We went through life living it to the full. We renewed our wedding vows, so yes, we got married on the 23rd of July 2005, but we also renewed our wedding vows, so I was fortunate enough to get married to the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with twice. It also shows Kate's compassion both personally and professionally. So, as I draw to a close of this part, I'd like to thank the NHS for giving me and Kate, I'd like to thank the NHS for giving me and us 5 years with the amazing Kate. Like I said, whatever time of the day, whatever day of the week. When Kate was first diagnosed, she was given less than 12 months to live. For us to have 5 years of Kate in our life, we need to be thankful for that. And we shouldn't be sad that Kate's gone. She wouldn't want us to be sad, she wouldn't want people to be crying. We should be happy that Kate actually happened. We should be happy and proud to have known Kate for as long as we did. And we will always walk with pride knowing that Kate's with us. Everyone can make a difference every day in everything that you do. Don't let everyone else do it. You can make the change. And always ask yourself, what would Kate have done? So to end and get on with the amazing awards, she didn't like being tagged as inspirational, didn't Kate? I was looking at the memory board a few hours ago, and there were so many memories around Kate being inspirational. She just didn't get it, she just wanted to be known as Kate, getting on with life. But Kate, you were, and will continue to be an inspiration to many thousands of people. Your dedication to compassion, not just Tell My Name Is, but many more things as well, will continue to help patients and healthcare every minute of every day forever. You've certainly made a positive change in both the NHS and global healthcare, and we all thank you for this. Rest in peace.
In May last year, NHS England filmed Kate in case she couldn't be here today. This is what she wants.
Kate, and this is my husband Chris. I guess I'm talking to you today because I'm not able to be there in person and to present the Kate Granger Compassionate Care Awards. I'm very proud of these awards, and will become a huge part of my legacy in healthcare. I hope the winners are really proud of themselves, but all the nominees should be proud, because celebrating compassionate care is really, really important, and improves patient experience in the NHS, and what we're doing is all about looking after patients. When I presented the inaugural awards in 2014, I said it was like being at the Oscars, only better. So I hope everyone has an amazing day. Thank you. Is that tear-jerking enough?
There are three categories to these awards. There is the individual award, there is the team award, and then there is the organisation award. Jane Cummings, the Chief Nursing Officer, will be presenting the individual award. Natalie Sylvie, training anaesthetist, friend of Kate's, will be doing the team award. And Simon Stevens, Chief Executive of NHS England, will be presenting the organisation award. Should we start, Jane, with the individual?
So, hello everybody, and as you know, hello, my name is Jane. Thank you to Steve earlier and Chris for his speech, and that film certainly reminded us of the impact that Kate had, and she is a very difficult act to follow. What I'm going to do before I announce the different nominations for the individual awards is just to say that this is the third Kate Granger Awards that I have been involved in and privileged to be involved in. And I was also privileged to know Kate and meet her and Chris on many occasions. But the real reason that I wanted to start off at this bit of the day is just to confirm, and I am incredibly pleased to confirm, that we will be continuing the Kate Granger Compassionate Care Awards at NHS Expo over the future years in partnership with HIMSS on a continuing basis. Steve has confirmed that this afternoon. That support will continue, and I think it really does pay tribute both to the impact that Kate and the awards have had, but also their global applicability, and I think that's really helpful. So thank you very much, Steve and HIMSS, for doing that. So I'm now going to read the nominations of the three shortlisted candidates for the individual award. And we're going to start with John Jackson, who is a porter at East Lancashire Hospital's NHS Trust. And John was nominated by Jeanette Livings. John is a night porter at the Royal Blackburn Hospital and is part of the Bereavement Care Steering Group, which is tasked with improving bereavement services within the Trust. He is a well thought of and cherished member of the night team. John works tirelessly at night, ensures that all patients feel valued and reassured. He is always patient, kind, well-mannered and considerate with all his patients. John leads by example and works closely with junior and new members of the portering team to inspire and mentor. During the bereavement steering group, he talks openly about the psychological support needed for the portering service following the death and subsequent transfer to the mortuary of a child. Colleagues say that when John escorts deceased patients to the mortuary, he does so with dignity and respect, and never loses sight of the individual, talking to the deceased patient and continuing to reassure both in life and death. The second nomination is Sarah Linnard, who is a speech and language therapist at Cumbria Partnership NHS Foundation Trust. And Sarah was nominated by Paul Atwood. Sarah works to improve meal times for nursing home residents and has introduced a mealtime audit written in plain English and adaptable to any home care environment. Sarah's approach to management of swallowing difficulties involves looking holistically at the whole mealtime experience. Essential in this approach has been working together with care homes to build shared understanding and responsibility, so that there is a positive experience for staff and, most importantly, for the residents. The project aims to make mealtimes a positive focus for patient care and quality of life, rather than just a routine chore to be completed. For example, staff now always check that the correct consistencies of food and fluid are given to residents, ensuring patient safety. Appropriate assistance with feeding is now given across Cumbria. There is promotion of independence and dignity in provision of a positive environment, and the result is a much more safe, positive experience for the nursing home residents. And our third nominee is Tommy Whitelaw, Dementia Campaigner. Tommy was nominated by Joanne Pons Laplana. Tommy is on a mission to raise awareness of dementia after experience of caring for his mum Joan, who died from vascular dementia 4 years ago. Tommy's been all over the UK, sharing his and other people's stories with as many health workers as possible. During the last 2 years alone, he's engaged with over 50,000 people at over 450 talks and events, collecting more than 10,000 pledges from health and social care professionals, all of whom are committed to make a difference. His determination is making the whole country more compassionate for people with dementia and their carers. Tommy's courage is transforming perceptions across the country and is creating a culture where compassion and kindness become the top priorities.
Would John, Sarah and Tommy like to come up just to hear which of you has won this award and for Chris to hand it over to you.
So this is where it's like the Oscars. So I've got the golden envelope. So the winner is, I already know this anyway. And the winner is John Jackson, East Lancashire Hospital NHS Choir.
Congratulations, John. There are also there's also something for Tommy and Sarah as well.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, my name is John Jackson. I work at the East Lancashire Trust Hospital. I am a bereavement care person and I work as a night porter. I'd like to thank Chris for presenting the award, and I'd like to give my condolences to him and his family. And I'd like just to say, good night, God bless to Kate Granger. Thank you for listening, everyone. Oh, have a lovely day. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now to present the team award, Natalie Subby.
Hello, my name is Natalie. Our first nominee is the Walking Therapy Group at St Andrew's Healthcare Nottingham, and they were nominated by Rebecca Sanderson. This team set up a weekly walking group that takes patrons out of a secure mental health unit for exercise and fresh air, whilst at the same time healthcare professionals carry out talking therapy. Occupational therapy assistant Lucas Hollingsworth, psychology assistant Sarah Omany, healthcare assistant Sandra Patterson and social worker Rebecca Sanderson work as a team to carefully plan the walking outings, ensuring that leave plans are in place so that patients can look forward to a stress-free time outdoors. Early on, the team realised that patients would benefit from animal therapy to help with their confidence levels, and Sandra's dog Brian now joins the group to complete between 6 and 8 miles across the Midlands countryside every week. Patients have found their anxiety levels are lower and their physical health has improved. It has also helped to reduce feelings of social isolation in some patients. During the walks, people are able to explore areas which they may need further support with the therapist, which can be actioned back at the hospital. Our second team are Zoe Keats and Yorid Kadri, who are supporting children to undergo MRI scans at the Royal National Orthopaedic Hospital, and they were nominated by Matthew Shaw. Zoe Keats, a senior play therapist, worked with Yorid Kadri, a clinical engineer, to design and build a toy replica of an MRI scanner. Printed by 3D technology, the toy MRI has a movable table, real MRI scans, and a remote control. Zoe and other play specialists use this to show children what will happen to them during a real MRI scan to help them understand the process. Zoe works with children aged between 4 and 18, many of whom have symptoms of cancerous bone tumours or spinal deformities such as scoliosis and other orthopaedic conditions. All of these conditions need an MRI scan for an accurate diagnosis. Using the toy has meant that dozens of children have been able to tolerate an MRI scan awake rather than under general anaesthesia, leading to a better experience, quicker recovery, much reduced anxiety for the younger patients and their parents. Zoe and Yorid are dedicated to improving children's journeys through hospital, and with this new tool they're looking forward to more success stories. And our third team nominated, the Airedale Hospital Palliative Care Team, nominated by Cornelia Parker and Rachel Binks. The Airedale Palliative Care Team set up Goldline, a telephone and internet service for people in their last 12 months of life and used by their families and carers too. Operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Goldline delivers high quality, compassionate care in patients' own homes and helps patients stay at home if that's their chosen place of death. Supported by a shared end-of-life record across primary, secondary and palliative care services, Goldline took more than 6,500 calls last year from patients across Airedale, Wharfdale, Craven and Bradford. The Goldline is a nurse-led service with support from palliative care consultants, and only 14% of Goldline patients die in hospital, compared with a national average of 48%. There is no service like Goldline anywhere else in England. Other palliative care telephone helplines exist, but only for patients known to hospice services. 46% of Goldline patients are not previously known to palliative care services, extending the reach of care much further.
Would the nominees like to come up onto the stage? Chris in the envelope. Yeah,
and the winner is the Walking Therapy Group, St Andrews Healthcare Nottingham.
So the total goes to 12. If you'd like to pose for a photograph with Chris. Commiserations, but there are plaques for you as well. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Rebecca. This is Sarah, Nikki and Sandy. We'd just like to say thank you to everyone for listening, and to Chris, and mainly to our patients, because without them the walking group would never exist.
Hi, my name's Sandy, and I'm making sure Brian gets to extra bone tonight.
Right, and now, presenting the Organisation Award, Simon Stevens, Chief Executive of NHS England.
Okay, so we have three fabulous nominees here. My name is Simon Stevens, as you've just heard. And the first of the three nominees is Brighton Health and Wellbeing Centre. And I think it's Dr. Laura Marshall-Andrews and partners from Brighton. And let's face it, we hear a lot of jargon in the NHS about what services might look like. And the bit of paper I've been given to read out about this one is replete with jargon. It says that what they've done is create whole person care, but when you actually look at it, I think it's quite a human story that we can tell here. They'll tell better than me, which is that they basically recognise that a lot of the people who come to Brighton Health and Wellbeing Centre don't just think of themselves as a condition that they're going to get fixed at the factory that is the primary care service. And so alongside technical excellence in their clinical quality, they've also done creative things around support for patients, their families, carers, singing for better health. I mean, I like the idea of the walking therapy, and I can feel walking therapy pretty good. Singing for better health. I mean, we've heard the NHS Choir, these guys do it. Kumbaya down there in Brighton on a regular basis, apparently. Narrative medicine, dance, filmmaking, art therapy, complementary patients, Alexander technique, the whole works. No wonder these guys are one of the three nominees, demonstrating great partnership with the city as well, and public health, the libraries, substance misuse services, arts council. Hugely positive feedback from patients, and apparently evidence of a reduction too in formal people turning up needing to see their GP. Why would you when you can sing and rumba and do all these other things on offer down at Brighton Health and Wellbeing Centre? That's not quite what the citation said, but I just felt we should get the drift here of why these guys are rightly on the docket. The second, yes. Let's hear it. Brighton Health and Wellbeing Centre. The second of the organisational nominees is the home treatment team in North Kensington in London. For those of you who don't know London terribly well, the word Kensington might make you think kind of incredibly posh and well-to-do. The insertion of the word North in front of Kensington tells you that actually there are a different set of issues that this group of people are having to deal with. This is the dedicated team from the Central and North West London Mental Health Trust, looking after some of the most vulnerable people in their own homes. Care that means that they, at times of crisis, avoid ending up in psychiatric inpatient or other services. Daily home visits, phone calls, team pharmacists working through medications, named nurses, continuous care, all the stuff that we mean by 7-day person-centred care. This is what these guys are doing. And so the home treatment team has worked successfully with people not just at the lower end of need, but high acuity, at risk of needing admission to secure mental health services. And thanks to the fact they're all working together as a team, they're having a huge impact. So our second nominee is the home treatment team from North Kensington. And our third and final organisational nominees is an idea born out of tragedy, actually. A tragedy that occurred 8 years ago, 2008. A homeless man died outside a London hospital, something that shouldn't have happened. And rather than going into clampdown and denial, this was used as an impetus, a catalyst to do a far better job. So the Pathway team work with homeless people, ensuring that they get the support they need, including proper support after discharge from hospital. And this is bringing together what the NHS is doing, the voluntary sector, statutory services, other providers, specially trained docs, nurses, OTs, mental health practitioners, housing benefit advice, social workers, and uniquely solicitors. Yes, it turns out lawyers have a use. And put to the higher purpose that the Pathway team represents. This is a group that has now been adopted in 11 teams working across England, supporting more than 3,000 patients a year, and the charities and the staff teams there educate over 500 medical students and professionals, helping them understand the distinctive need of homeless patients. So a third highly worthy, inspiring nominee for our organisational success category. Thank you very much. And for the nominees representing the state now.
And just before we announce the winner, obviously we call them winners for the awards, but I think everyone nominated and outside of everyone nominated for these Kate Granger's awards are winners in their own right, because the compassionate care that goes on within the NHS on a daily basis is phenomenal. And although we do have to choose, the winners of these awards, I think they're all on a par, to be honest, but that doesn't take anything away from those people that have received the awards tonight. But yeah, the nominations were phenomenal this year. And the winner of this one is Pathway.
Many congratulations, and there are thank you as well. Just a very quick word of thanks, Chris. This is an incredible honour for Pathway. We'll be going for 6 years, making great progress. I'd like to thank two groups of people, our teams around the country who are phenomenal clinicians and colleagues in all kinds of ways, and our patients who are fantastic. Thank you very much. If you are here tomorrow, it is worth looking at stand 140, which Chris mentioned. Heather by name is where there are tributes to Kate there. Thank you, Chris, very much for coming so recently after Kate's death to deliver, to hand out these awards. Thank you all for being involved. Thank you to your wife and for the legacy she has left behind. And we'd like to end this award ceremony with some more fabulous music from the NHS Choir. If you wouldn't mind just singing us out. Thank you. Is there a pianist in the room?